welcome to another episode of WHU Inside Business, the Italy series. My name is Lucas, and today we are in the offices of Banca Akros in Milan. We are very pleased to have Mr. Alessandro Erbanni as our guest, or better said, we are the guests. Thank you, Mr. Erbanni, for hosting us.
Thank you for your time.
Let's start with a short introduction. Mr. Alessandro Erbanni holds a degree in business administration from the Bocconi University in Milan. His career began in 2006 in the investment bank Mediobanca, where he held roles for increasing responsibility in corporate finance for the midcap segment. In early 2018, he joined Banca Akros, Banco BPM's investment bank, leading the M&A Industrial team and successfully managing numerous sell-side, buy-side take-to-private transactions with corporate companies and financial sponsor institutions. Since April 2023, he has been head of corporate finance, a division that includes M&A advisory and equity capital market activities, and is also a managing director at Oaklins, Italy, leading its industrial M&A advisory team. So, Mr. Erbanni, to break the ice, as there are many students among our audience, when and how did you decide to pursue the career path that you have eventually chosen?
Well, it was 20 years ago, and I think I decided to follow my passion. And my passion at that time was a mix between numbers and I would say soft skills or empathy. Empathy is a key, also in my job today. So 20 years ago, I was trying to find a job where I could put in the same table all these skills, and I think I found it. Yes.
Okay. What I would be curious to know, what does the head of corporate finance division do exactly? So what does your typical day or your typical week look like?
Well, typical day maybe is not the rule, because you have different days, and I think you should manage the unpredictable. Maybe you start a day and then you never know how it finish, because you should manage bad news, good news, and new projects that are starting, and you have also to manage people. So in my role, I'm leading a team of 40 people, covering several projects at the same time. So complexity is pretty high, and but this is also the funny part of my job. Yeah.
Okay, it's important to have fun even in the job. As you work for the leading investment banks in Italy, what do you think is particular here in Italy, and what do you think are the difference, for example, to other European countries?
Well, Italian market is driven by and is composed by SMEs, so small and medium-sized companies, where the family ownership or the family management-driven company is still very important. So in Italy, also an advisor, investment bank, needs to manage with this familiar characteristic, I would say, and also size is pretty peculiar in Italy. So if compared with other European countries, we have smaller companies and maybe more fragmented industries, where you have still room for consolidation, but by the end is one of the main drivers for also M&A business, and also you also need time, because my client from US told me one time, so in Italy never happens at the first time. You need to try and try again, and mostly in the mid-cap space, because the most important thing I think is truth. So you need to create truth, and then you can do M&A.
Okay, very interesting to have this background.
Mm-hmm.
At the moment, what trends and challenges do you see in the Italian market, and how do you plan to deal with them? Are there any target industries that you would like to target a set, or is there any long-term strategic process you see?
Well, Italy is, I think, I love Italy. It's a very beautiful country, but we also see some structural weaknesses. For example, GDP growth is not the top ranking, never, I would say, but so you are in a country with less growth rate. You have a country with huge amount of debt, and you can't leverage on public, I would say, public subsidize. So you need to leverage on your own energies, and if you think it's also a boost for productivity, of course, because if you need to leverage on your energy, you should invent new ways to do better your job. So, but it's also a weakness, of course, because you are alone in some way. So, grow debt, and of course, older and older population. That means that we have some concerns about also the pension sustainability for the future. So say that I think we have as a country great challenges, but also of course an opportunity to invest and create business opportunities in all and all things, all business, all ideas of business around energy efficiencies. Also, I would say the healthcare services, and also I think a real driven point here is technology, and Italy's still have some gap in technology, and we will need more and more investments here.
Okay, we're gonna come back to this technology topic in one of the last questions.
Okay.
What I would like to ask you, so if we look back at 2023, it has been a difficult year for M&A markets worldwide. So we've seen a decline in global deal values, in global deal volumes, due to high interest rate, among other reasons. How was Italy also affected by this? How did you see the situation from here? What do you think the outlook for the Italian M&A market is in 2024?
Definitely, 2023, was not a very positive year. I think yes, in Italy we had a little decrease, but not so high if compared with other European countries, because we were missing large deals. But as already said, the market is mainly driven by mid-cap transactions. So that is quite, I would say, more resilient than big, larger deal. So we saw a decrease, for example, in volumes for transaction driven by financial sponsors, private equity, also because of interest rates, of course, structured finance, and so on. But actually, this year, 2024, seems to be very interesting. We have a solid pipeline on the table, and there are several transactions that I think will be will be done this year. Also thanks to the delayed process of last year, so you will benefit also of this. So I think could be a recovery here this year. Yeah.
Okay, we mentioned like the private equity side, and we mentioned small and medium enterprises. So talking about SMEs, what is often overlooked when a private equity fund comes in is the topic of governance. So better said, the relationship between, let's say, the founders of the company and the private equity fund. When it comes to decision making, there can be conflicting opinions, maybe problems which are not easy to manage. From your point of view, when you deal with these type of transactions, how do you deal with governance in order to optimize returns?
You know, governance after price is the hardest thing.
Yeah.
Jokes apart, yes, governance is very key in each M&A transaction, and we spend a lot of time trying to educate also our clients, or even trying to explain what governance means, because if a family entrepreneur that is the most expert in his fields but maybe is not aware of veto rights, exits mechanism, strategy, drag along, tag along, and everything that can be included in a governance concept. And they are not used to have someone in the board that is outside of the family. So you need to spend some time in order, yes, to make some examples, to try to, yes, to explain the point of strengths and point the negatives of this. And I think the hardest work for us is try to explain how you can make a step back to take just step forward together with the new shareholders. No, this is, I think, the harder thing, but when the entrepreneur realizes it and then decides to have to sell a part of the business, maybe minority or even majority, even 100% of shares, but doing something extraordinary. So I think he realized that governance is manageable. But I think, yes, it's very important also to write a very clear governance set of rules, because you write a contract to be used maybe never, but could be very useful. Yes.
So we've mentioned your role as in Oaklins, Italy, in the M&A advisory team, where you lead the industrial team. So nowadays, CEOs and private equity funds are taking a closer look at how to create value quickly. So from unlocking new sources of value with technology, as we said, to accelerating decarbonization, for example. How can business leaders expect to use M&A to accelerate maybe the adoption of technology, and how can this be important for Italy's growth?
Well, I think M&A is a very important boost for growth. It is an accelerator for growth, but also it enables achieving something you can't have. For example, technology. So maybe you can acquire technology through an M&A transaction. Otherwise, you should spend years and years trying to do by yourself. I think if technology and more and more we are seeing a big revolution and a huge acceleration in technology adoption, I would say, thinking AI, but also cybersecurity and ICT overall. I think M&A could be considered as a great strategy to accelerate this point. I think decarbonization, climate change are forcing us to reinvent ourselves, reinvent our way of doing business. So I think today, this year, maybe we are in the decade of great technology adoption and great climate change development. So an entrepreneur today in, I think, each manufacturing, servicing, B2C, B2B, every kind of, I would say, business in economy, you are facing new challenges, and the climate change is one of these. And I think every entrepreneur today, every day, is thinking about how to reinvent yourself, how to create new, smartest ideas to reach zero emission, because it's not only words, no, about words. Zero emission is two strong words, but then you have to translate in business plan, action plan, and objectives and results.
This is the part of the interview where we look back. So if you think about, let's say, the last 10 years of your career, is there any deal or any transaction that you are particularly proud of, or that was particularly, let's say, difficult?
Well, it's not an easy question. Thinking about, yes, my last 10 years, I would say each transaction is different from the others. Always. Because of people, because of business, because of risks and so on. So are very different, and I had the chance to see very different transactions from around startups to IPO of large cap, and with private equity and entrepreneurs. So there are very big difference in this, but I think that what I like more of this job, and when you could say to be proud of, is when you can, as advisor, of course, you can create, you can define, you can help and support finding the right solution. And I think, in my opinion, the right solution is a win-win solution. So it's a winning, and you are giving benefits to your clients, but also to all the other stakeholders of the transaction. So a win-win situation is, I think, the best, because you are doing a great job for you as a professional, but also for all the other counterparties you have. And I think it's also the right way to approach this job. Yeah.
We've almost come to the end. That's why I would propose to you WHU Inside Business Classic. Is there a book, an article, or even a podcast that you would recommend to our viewers?
Well, I think a very interesting book I read was by Simon Sinek. I don't know, you know, it's The Infinite Game. It's a book about a mental approach to the business. And the suggestion here is to have always an open mind approach. An infinite game, it means that you are not you should not look at short-term results, but you should look at long-term strategy and the sort of infinite approach to life also and to business itself. So it's very nice. I think could be interesting from a business perspective and also personal perspective. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Erbanni. Thank you for having us on behalf of the whole WHU community. Thanks to the viewers. Stay tuned for the next episode.
Thank you. Goodbye.